Hello everyone. Today I'll be giving a quick walkthrough and rundown on our group project for LSU's Computer Science 3380 course. We decided to work on kennel management software. So the first thing we'll do is log in. Currently we have an account that was pre-generated with the database, and I have it saved. So we'll go ahead and log in. The first thing you'll see is the patient's index, where you can browse through all the patients that are in the database, whether they are currently checked into the hospital or were previous patients of the hospital. So you can see that each page of the index generates 40 patients, and you can scroll through the different pages. Next, we'll go to users. You can see the index of users here. We'll go ahead and add a user. So we'll call our user John Smith. And we'll go ahead and make up an email for him. You notice that when you type a password, you do not see the actual characters and you get a hidden password. So we'll create the account. And that'll bring you back to John's display page, so we'll log out and test this. So let's log back in, and let's try logging in with John Smith's email. It looks like everything worked out well. So now we're back to the patient's index, which is the home page for logged in users. So next thing we'll do is look at the owners. This is the owner's index. You can see that, like the patients, we generate 40 owners per page of the index. So let's go ahead and look at Holden. We can see that Holden has one pet. You can see the phone number as well as his email and the time at which he was created and added to the database. Let's add a patient. So we'll call our patient Airbud. It'll be a golden retriever. And we'll say he weighs 60.5 pounds and eats a diet of Benefold puppy. So let's create the account. Now we're taken to Airbud's page. You can see that he belongs to Holden Quigley. And if we go back to the index, we'll scroll through and see if we can find Airbud. And there he is, at the end of the patient's index. And you can see that he's owned by Holden Quigley. as it should be. So now, let's go look at the ward view. Here you can see a listing of all of the different wards within the hospital. You can see it by ID, number of runs, as well as a list of runs inside. Let's look inside Ward 4. Here we can see that Ward 4 has 7 runs, and 4 of them, marked in green, are currently occupied, leaving 22, 23, and 21 available for a patient. Now, we'll go back to the patient's index, find Airbud, and try to check him in. So here you can add belongings as well as remarks about the patient. Here we'll add a bone, as well as a note that Airbud is hyperactive. And for run, you'll see a list of all runs that are currently available. And we'll check him in to 22. You can now see that he has a new stay created at the current time. And if we go back and inspect Ward 4, we can see that 22 is now marked as occupied. This is greatly useful to avoiding overbooking, as well as keeping everything organized in your kennel. Here we can see a list of all runs, including their amenities and size, as well as the value of their occupied field. And now we can see that 22 is now occupied. Finally, we'll go to the patient's index and generate a feed list, which will list all patients that are currently checked in and designated to feed at the current shift. So we'll just click Create Feed List, and there you go, a feed list of all patients with their diet as well as their location. However, most hospitals like to have a paper copy of this, and in order to print it, they don't want to see the header, the footer, etc. So we've included a functionality where you can convert any page from HTML to .pdf. And as you can see, we have a nice printout of the feed list in PDF form. Alright guys, well, I want to thank everyone for watching, and stay posted for updates.